Okay, welcome everyone to the channel Artified Optimist. Today we'll be talking about performance rights. In our previous video we talked about copyrights. Today we'll be looking at performance rights. Now, this is one of the rights that accrues to a creative person when his works are performed publicly. And performance rights are usually administered by what is called performance rights organizations. In some other parts of the world, performance rights organizations, known by the acronym PRO, can also be known as Performing Rights Society. And it provides intermediary functions, particularly collection of royalties between copyright holders and parties who wish to use copyrighted works publicly in locations such as shopping and dining venues. Okay, now legal consumer purchase of works such as buying of CDs from a music store confer private performance rights. PROs usually only collect royalties when there is use of a work, or when the use of a work is incidental to an organization's purpose. Royalties for works essential to an organization's purpose, such as theaters and radio, are usually negotiated directly with the right holder. So I mentioned something earlier that when a consumer purchases a CD, he obtains private right to use that CD how he chooses, privately, that is in the comfort of his home. When he steps outside his house or his private environment and uses that musical piece or that CD otherwise outside, he is supposed to pay some form of fee to the PROs. Now we'll get to explain what PROs do with some of these monies. Now let's just quickly go on. In some countries, PROs are called copyright collectives or copyright collective agency. A copyright collective is more general than a PRO, as it is not limited to performances and includes reproduction rights organizations. Now PROs represent work distributed via mediums such as CD, audio cassette, or computer file, rather than use of works in public settings. Now let's go on quickly. Other than their primary purpose as an intermediary between right holders and customers, PROs are highly active in legal arenas. PROs take alleged rights violators to court, or in the US, to the Copyright Royalty Board of the Library of Congress. PROs lobby on behalf of rights holders, especially in discussions of royalty rates. As a side benefit for tracking public performance of works for royalty collection, PROs publish statistics for publicly performed works. The licensing services provided by a PRO arguably provide advantage to customers who can simultaneously license all works the PRO represents. Collecting societies in the music industry usually administer reproduction rights and public performance rights in musical works, while mechanical rights societies administer reproduction rights. Performing rights administer public performance rights. Now let me just quickly say something about that. PROs are a part of collecting societies. Now we have what is called collecting societies. Collecting societies collect royalties on behalf of creative persons, maybe musicians or artists or writers. Then the royalties they collect, they help to distribute back to creators. So collective society can generally be divided into two broad groups. You have the PROs, that is the performance rights organizations, and you also have the mechanical rights organizations. So the mechanical rights organizations collect royalties from reproductions of musical works or any other kind of creative work, reproductions, duplications, and so on. Then the performance rights organizations collect royalties for performance of a creator's work in a public arena. Okay. Now, so that's the foundation for this discussion. Now, let's narrow it back to Nigeria. Now, so like I said, we're going to be focusing on MCSN, the Musical Copyright Society of Nigeria. After years of court battle between Nigeria Copyright Commission (NCC) and the Musical Copyright Society of Nigeria (MCN), the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar, in April 2017, directed NCC to approve MCSN as a collective society. Unfortunately, the Attorney General failed to indicate which of the exclusive rights under Section 6 of the Nigerian Copyright Act 2004 are to be administered and monitored by MCSN. This has created an overlap as well as conflict between MCSN and Copyright Society of Nigeria. Now, what we can get from this is that MCSN has been in a legal battle for so many years. As a matter of fact, because of these legal battles, MCN has been out of normal business for close to about a decade. So ever since MCSN has been declared as a collective society, there's been kind of some conflict between MCSN and NCC. Remember in my previous video we talked about MCC being the body responsible for granting copyrights in Nigeria. Now that MCSN has also been granted with the right to grant copyrights, there's kind of some conflict between both bodies and they have been in court. Now, we're not going to dwell so much on the court part, but we're only going to dwell on what NCC represents and how they can be of help to creative persons. Okay, now so let's go on. Before the approval of MCSN, COSON, remember I talked about COSON, the other PRO in Nigeria, was acknowledged as the sole collecting society administering both rights, that is performance rights and mechanical rights. The reintroduction of MCSN as a collecting society has raised some questions, and these questions include which of the societies can collect royalties for unregistered songs, and what is the rule governing black box monies? Can the songwriter join the two societies? What if two songwriters own a song, where one is a member of COSON and the other a member of MCSN? Can one of the societies issue license and collect royalties on behalf of the other? If both bodies coexist as public performance societies and mechanical societies, who sets the rates for licenses? Now, or which of the two societies is to administer public performance rights? Okay. Other question, which of the two societies is to administer reproduction rights? Now, the truth of the matter is, in developed like the United States, there are several performance rights organizations and they all work together in peace and in harmony. But it amazes me why the case is different in Nigeria, why COSON and MCSN have constantly engaged in legal battles. Well, it's up to them to resolve. Now, let's focus more on MCSN. So we've laid the foundation. MCSN is a collective society. They grant copyrights and they can also collect royalties on whether they are performance royalties or mechanical royalties on behalf of creative persons. Now, MCN licenses the right to perform songs and musical works created and owned by the songwriters, composers, lyricists, and music publishers who are MCSN members, and also those members of foreign performing rights organizations who are represented by MCSN in Nigeria. Therefore, If what you intend doing falls into any of the following categories, you need an Mcsn license before you can proceed. Okay, so now let's look at the categories for which you can be represented by Mcsn. First category is mass media. So if you are a mass media person, what would you be doing for you to be able to get protection from Mcsn? That is, you play music on TV, radio, and other mass media mediums. Okay, you are an internet entrepreneur. So what would you be doing? You play/distribute music via the internet. Okay, the next category is music reproduction. That is, you mass produce already produced music. Next one is hotel, clubs, guest houses, theater halls, aircrafts, banking halls, factories, etc. What would you be doing? You entertain guests with music in public. Now, if you fall into any of these categories, or you do any of these activities, then you need to work with Mcsn. Now, either to register your works for copyright as a creator, or to purchase licenses as a consumer of music. Mcsn helps songwriters and composers enforce the constitutional copyright law on those who try to take advantage of them by illegally using their works. Now let's quickly move on to membership. Now there are membership categories. Now, and these categories are: 1. A singer. Now, who is regarded as a singer? A singer is someone who performs songs, especially professionally. The next category is a songwriter/a music composer. So what do? They write songs and movie soundtracks. That is, they write songs or they do movie soundtracks. Okay, so these are the categories of membership with Mcsn. Now, once you've been able to determine the category you fall into, you're meant to follow the steps below. So you download the online membership form, then you fill in accurate information, then you submit the form to Mcsn along with the requirements specified in the form. Now, I must confess, this is one area of should I call this bureaucracy? This is one area I'm really not pleased with Nigerian PROs. Now, PROs in other parts of the world, in the United States, in the UK, you can completely become a member of a PRO just by going to their website and registering with them. It takes less than 5 minutes. I've tried other PRO organizations and it's so easy. But with Nigeria, you just have to get access to forms. You download forms, you fill them physically, and you send them to physical offices. That, for me, is really a turn-off. It's just a no-no. PROs need to upgrade on this area. I know I'm saying this. Cousin also has the same issue. I think MCN has to upgrade on this. Okay, so the next thing we're looking at is affiliations. Some people will say, why do I have to register with Mcsn? Are they known globally? Can they represent my works globally? Now, I think this will be some kind of good news for you. Now, some of the societies with which Mcsn has direct reciprocal agreements are PRS, MCPS, DPRS, all of the United Kingdom. Okay, so PRS is the major performance rights organization in the UK. I think it's called the Performance Rights Society. Yes, and the MCPS collects mechanical royalties in the United Kingdom. Okay, they are also affiliated with SAMRO, SAMRO is the PRO in South Africa. Then they're also connected to Irish Music Rights Organization, IMRO, of Ireland, and ZAMCOBS of Zambia, ZIMRA of Zimbabwe, American Mechanical Rights Agency, AMRA, of the United States of America, SODRAC of Canada, COSCA of Barbados, ESCAP of the United States of America, SACEM of France, Music Authors Copyright Protection, MACP of Malaysia, Copyright Organization of Trinidad and Tobago, COT, the Authors Licensing and Collecting Society Limited, ALCS, of the United Kingdom, TONO of Norway, Composers and Authors Societies of Hong Kong, CASH, to name just a few. Wow, that's a whole lot. So MCSN is affiliated to all of these international organizations. Okay, so Mayo Ayilaron, I hope I got that pronunciation right, the Director General of MCSN, in an interview with Premium Times sometime in August, made some interesting statements and comments about MCSN, and I would like to share some of them with you guys. So in the interview, he was asked certain questions, and he was asked that what is the primary role of MCSN, and his response was that the primary role of MCSN is to assist in helping a music composer, author, fine artist who is a creative person and who has published works that are being used in the urban by the general members of the public to harness their rights and get the economic benefit for them. Okay, he went further by stressing that the moment you use an individual's work outside your domestic environment, I talked about that earlier, outside your domestic environment, and you use it during the course of your business, then you must seek the owner's permission first. That is very, very vital. Now in Nigeria, because this whole royalties copyright thing is not really widespread amongst a lot of people have the notion that once you buy an author's work and it's on CD, you have the right to use it however you choose in your house, in your domestic environment, and outside wherever you go. No, it shouldn't be so. It shouldn't be so. So when you purchase a musical work that is printed on a CD or whatever medium, whether a cassette or whatever, you only have the right, you purchase the right to use it privately. Once it goes out of your private home, you ought to pay a certain fee to MCSN, and MCSN deposits or distributes rather royalties, such royalties back to the original creators. Okay, now let's go on. So he was also asked this question: is MCN just about music and musical works? Now I was really dying to hear this part, and he says no, the duties and functions of MCSN are not limited to just collecting of royalties for music and musical works. And he said that MCSN is not limited to musical works, and says MCSN is involved in literary rights, dramatic and audio-visual rights. Okay, that is to say that MCSN cover films, also audio-visual films, yes. Maybe films or spoken words put on CD, anything audio and is visual. MCN can also protect rights for such work. Then also in the literary field, that means works that are written, by authors, writers, novels, drama, plays, poems, books, all those literary stuffs. MCSN can also provide or protect rights in those areas. Now he was asked further questions like, is registering with Mcsn a prerequisite to enjoying the privileges you have just mentioned? And his response was yes. To enjoy the rights and privileges, you have to be registered with Mcsn. This is simply because moving with the body is more protective than moving alone. So conversely, Mcsn renders services to those who use the work, but many people out there do not know. Now, and he goes on to stress that many people consume these works without getting their license first. Okay, he stressed further that the body helps users to harness the rights with a single license, and they get to listen to millions of works. I guess what this means is that for you to use a songwriter's or a singer's work out there, you need to get a license, meaning it can even be advantageous for you. You get a single license, and with that license you are given access to a lot of songs. Okay, so guys, please be wise. If you are a distributor of music, or you dish out music to consumers in a public space, do the needful. Get a license from Mcsn so you can freely play or entertain your consumers or your customers or your guests, whatever, with music, so you don't break the law. Remember, playing of music or any creative author's work publicly without asking for permission or getting a license from the author constitutes illegality. So be wise, guys. Now, he was also asked that do people really pay these royalties, and he says yes, they do. The only difference is that the culture is a developing one in Nigeria, so people are still trying to get used to it. But he says that they pay yearly, so I guess that's the way it operates in Nigeria. I guess the licenses are for a year or so. Alright guys, so that's it. That's the much I could get about Mcsn. Seriously, I must tell you, there isn't really so much of vast information about Mcsn. I think I kind of understand that. The more of the information you have about Mcsn is the court issues and the laid back it's had for many years, the battles it has had with NCC and COSN. But from what I hear, Mcsn is back to business. You know, they have been cleared by the courts to operate, so I think they're gradually getting back to their feet. I was trying to go through the website to get a lot of information, but it seemed like even the website is under construction and I couldn't get so much. So but I tried my best to get these little, you know, from the website. Alright, so guys, if you feel there's so much more that I didn't add to this video, you can just drop a comment, you know, below in the comment section, so we can all learn more. And if there are other topics you would like me to talk about, you can also put them in the comment section, so I can get to see them and pick the one to do a post on. Remember guys, please do not forget to like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel, support your boy, and I promise you we're gonna be doing more and more of this. Remember, I told you we're working on certain rights that creative persons can embark on. This is just one of them. Okay, so sit back, have fun, and look forward to more videos coming your way. All right, bye for now.